Hello, my name is Randy Robinson. I'm the National Sales Manager at Civacon. Today we're going to talk a little bit about truck tanks and what makes them unique or different than a petroleum trailer. They set up very similar to a petroleum trailer, a lot of the same overfill equipment and valves and fittings. The exception is how they deliver product. So please check out the Petroleum 101 video. Prior to watching this video would make a lot of sense. So a truck tank, the name truck tank comes from, it's an actual tank mounted to a truck. It's permanently mounted to a truck, unlike a semi-trailer where it's a trailer. So what makes a truck tank somewhat unique is they're not doing bulk deliveries like a semi-transport petroleum trailer, where a bulk delivery means they load a particular compartment and they deliver that whole compartment at typically a retail gas station. A truck tank is doing metered, relatively smaller deliveries of smaller quantities, and more often they're changing over from gas to diesel, clear diesel, dye diesel. And to do that, you need some special equipment. You're going to need a pump, because these are pumped and metered off, unlike a petroleum trailer where it's a gravity unload. You're going to need a meter, a way to meter how much product's coming out of that particular compartment. And then you need a way to dispense that, a hose reel and a nozzle where they can take that to a particular piece of equipment. One way to look at these trucks is you could almost refer to them as almost a gas station on wheels, if you will. So in a truck tank, you have to have a way to get that product from the compartment to the pump. And there's really three ways to do that. The first way is commonly referred to as swapper hose or jumper hoses, dry disconnects. That's where, and typically they're in the back of the truck, there's a hard rigid pipe teed off of the compartment that runs to typically the rear of the trailer. And what the operator has to do is take a piece of flex pipe, flex hose if you will, connect into the compartment line, and then connect that to the pump line so he's able to dispense the product. The second type of way to get the product from the compartment to the pump is with a manual manifold. You'll see these where it's a fabricated, you'll see butterfly valves, ball valves. It's a series of manual valves that they open and close to channel the product to the pump. And then the third, the final way to do it is with an air-operated manifold. So the air-operated manifold, what it does is it takes a lot of that human air out of there, and it really cleans up the process of switching from one product to the next. So the air-operated manifold uses an air control panel where the operator selects which product he wants out of what compartment, and it automatically funnels that product to the pump. Okay, let's take a minute to take a closer look at the manifold and some of the features to these air-operated manifolds. The first thing I'll point out is this demonstration is set up not necessarily like you'd see on the truck tank. The manifold air control panels are typically mounted in the back or wherever your hose reels are located. So keep that in mind when we're walking through this demonstration. So the manifold consists of this is a dual manifold, so this has a diesel bank, which is commonly referred to as the front side or the side closest to the APIs. And then you have your gasoline bank, which is the side furthest from the APIs. And what that does is that separates the dissimilar products, say gas and diesel. You then have here your discharge lines. You have one here and you have one here. That's the portion of the manifold that goes to the pump, then ultimately to the hose reel. So the manifold keeps those products segregated, and the operator picks which compartment or which product he wants using his air control panel, and that opens the particular compartment that he needs. One thing to keep in mind when you're loading an air-operated manifold system is you really don't want the manifold open during loading. It's as if the manifold's not there. It loads right through the APIs, right into the compartment. And so these would be mounted in the rear by the hose reel, but you'll need a way when you're loading to open up your vents and your internal valves. That can be done by a simple push-pull switch called a load switch, mounted near the APIs or the load heads. When you pull that switch, what it does is it opens all your vapor vents and your internal valves, and you're ready to load. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the unloading process using an air-operated manifold. Again, these air control panels are your manifold control panels located somewhere near your hose reels. So what you do when you unload, you pull your master, and what your master switch does is it goes up and makes sure your vapor vents are open, and it gives you a pop-up indicator here. For this example, we're going to say that this is our diesel compartment or diesel bank, and we're going to say this is our gasoline bank. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up compartment number 1, and I'm not sure if you can see there, but there's a visual pop-up indicator on the diesel number 1 compartment. So what's happening at this point is product is flowing out of the compartment, down through this cylinder here, and into the outlet line going to the pump. So these air-operated manifolds, the Civacon control system has some built-in air logic into the controls that helps the driver, prevents the driver from making some mistakes during the delivery process. If you notice here, I'm going to open compartment 1 on the diesel side. You would never want to have both of these compartments or both sides of this manifold open at the same time. So if I were to go over and try to open the gas side, that knob is physically locked out. I can't pull that switch. But I can open another compartment of diesel. So I can pull this switch. If you notice, this indicator is open and this indicator is open, which is a safe mode because I'm unloading possibly 2 compartments of diesel. But if you'll notice here, where if I come in here and I close compartment number 2, I close this compartment, I can open compartment number 2 on my gas side. So I am unloading diesel and I'm unloading gas, and the manifold keeps it completely separate where you're not crossing over. One of the things you might notice on this system are the product returns. What the product returns allow an operator to do is to switch from product without having to climb on top of the compartment and purge his hose reel. So in this example, let's just say an operator needs to switch from dye diesel to clear diesel. So let's just say we have the hose reel and the pump full of dye diesel, and he's ready to switch. So you can see my dyed compartment is open. I would take my nozzle and I'd connect it to the product return, and then I would close my dyed compartment. I would then open my clear compartment, which would flood the outlet line of that manifold system, and I would actually be using that clear product to push the dyed back into that compartment. So what the operator would do is once he has it connected, he would start pumping that product in, and he would see the dyed diesel in this sight glass. Once that product will turn from a dyed to kind of a pink color and then ultimately to a clear color, the operator knows now at this point he's completely purged his line and he's now safe to deliver the clear diesel. The last thing I wanted to point out on these air-operated and pneumatic systems are the e-stop feature of it. So what we have here on the side of this display is a switch here to represent the emergency shutdown switch. And when I press it, I'd like you to keep an eye on a couple of these knobs that we have pulled out here. If you noticed, those knobs physically were reset or sucked back into the closed position. It doesn't exhaust the air like other systems. We do this for a safety feature. What it does is it resets it to a safe condition, so when that air is re-energized, valves won't come open. You're back to a start or a neutral position to allow the driver to understand what potential problem might have been going on. So I just wanted to take a quick second here to kind of point out the shutdown procedure on these manifolds and hopefully give you some helpful advice to help take some wear and tear off of the hose reels, the pumps, and the meters. When you shut down your manifold, when that pump and that PTO is on and running, you don't want to close your manifold. You want to shut the pump off first and allow that pump to cycle down, and it gives that back pressure somewhere to go, where it goes back into the compartment out through the vapor vents. If you were to close the compartment, then close or shut down the pump, you run a risk of storing pressure from the lower section of that manifold, and that just adds wear and tear to your hose and really any seals within that system. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you need additional pneumatic schematics, wiring diagrams, additional troubleshooting, technical information, please check out our website at civacon.com and also check out some of our other YouTube videos. Thanks for watching.